Alright, hey, HadesOmega here. This is the after action review for Wednesday Night Drags, May 17, 2023. If I look awful, it's because I feel awful, alright? I had really bad allergies today, and going to Sonoma Raceway made it super bad, okay? Yeah, I'll just talk about that right now. Yeah, my allergies got worse throughout the day, alright? It just got worse and worse and worse. It was the wind blowing, alright? The wind was awful tonight, man. The wind blows all the pollen and all that stuff, and the tire smoke and all the exhaust fumes. All that stuff made me really sick, okay? I'm not feeling good right now. So I just want to knock out this after action review, okay? Okay, so after action review. What was supposed to happen, what really happened, and what we could do to improve, alright? In a nutshell, alright? So what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to go down to Sonoma Raceway and race Wednesday Night Drags, alright? And this time, we did it in the Sur-Ron Light B again, okay? This is my second time this year, and yeah, so this time around, I didn't use this battery. I used a smaller battery. Last time I used the bigger battery, but I did bring both of the batteries, but I wound up not really using the big one, right? The big one's in there because I was using this as like a pit bike after, okay? And I'll kind of talk about the configuration. We've got the Moto factory spec controller and motor. I've got the latest firmware on it, alright? So the differences from last time to this time is that I got the latest firmware, alright? The latest firmware and the latest app for the controller, okay? And supposedly it fixes the cutting out issue with the throttle that I've been having all the time, right? Last time I was kind of plagued with it, man. It was horrible when I twist the throttle, the bike didn't go, all right? And that's what you don't want, all right? Yeah, that's what you don't want, okay? Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just got the newest software on it, and I have a different chain on it, all right? The primary drive chain went bad on my before, okay? The chain threw a bunch of rollers because I guess I bent my swing arm axle, and then I had to go replace it, and then I guess it messed up my chain or something. It threw the rollers and it was off balance, and I was getting this bad vibration and awful noises and stuff, and it took me a while to figure it out because it's not really easy to see, the primary drive chain. And yeah, so I replaced the chain with another chain that I made. All right, I basically took a chain for the secondary drive, and I chopped it down, and I made a smaller chain for the primary drive, right? And so that's what I'm running right now. The bike runs much smoother and quieter, right? So it's great, right? So new software and new chain, all right? So other than that, it's pretty much the same bike as it was last time. But yeah, there is some different stuff in the new software. The throttle's a little different. I'll kind of go over, okay, so yeah, here's what's supposed to happen. For the first run, I was going to try to go as fast as I can, all right? And I was going to run 250 amps of DC current. And I had it set to 700 amps current the whole time, all right? And then we were just going to lower the current down after that to 225 is what I chose, all right? I was going to do 220, but I said, let's make it 225. Okay, so we went with 225. The point of bracket drag racing is not actually to go as fast as possible, okay? The goal in bracket drag racing is to run as close to your dial-in number as possible, right? So you want to make your bike as consistent as possible. So if you're consistently going slow, that's good, all right? Rather than like you're all over the place and you're going fast. So that's the problem with this bike right now. We can make it faster, but is it going to be consistently faster, right? It seems like the battery is holding it back, all right? That's what I feel like. I feel like I need a battery that can do more discharge or can handle more punishment, all right? But these batteries aren't doing it. But I'm kind of figuring out where the discharge currents it's happy with, okay? It's around like 200 amps or something. I know these can do 300 peak, but you can't like just hold it wide open. 300 amps, okay? So we gotta detune the bike until we can get it consistent, right? And so I think it handled 225 okay. Maybe we can try a lower number next time. But HadesOmega wants to go fast, man. Also, I do want to go fast, all right? It's drag racing, man, and I want to see what this can do. That's why we did that 250 amp pass. All right, so here's what happened. So for the first run was actually one of my best runs of the day, all right? We ran a 17973 with the 250 amps, all right? So here's what we ran. .103 reaction time, that's not bad, all right? 2.537 60 foot, 330 foot was 6.666, 1/8 mile 10.647 at 58.29 miles an hour, 1,000 foot was 14.481. ET was 17.973 at 62.97 miles an hour. All right, pretty much different numbers than last time, is what I say. All right, the fastest pass that I did the last time we went to the drag strip was it was 15.8. All right, we ran a 15.8 with I think a tailwind. Yeah, we had a tailwind or something. All right, 15.8. So huge difference, man. And so also here's what the weather was like while we were there. All right, it was probably in the high it was in the 70s when we got there, and then throughout the night the temperature just plummeted to like 50 degrees. All right, that's why it's nice to go to Sonoma Raceway when it's warm, all right, because at least you know you're not gonna freeze your ass off at night, all right? So yeah, it was cold and it was windy, all right? The wind was vicious, is all I can say. I haven't seen it that windy at Sonoma Raceway in a long time, all right? There was no tailwind, all right? And so yeah, the wind was just playing with me all night long, all right? So yeah, remember that, 17.9, all right? So the second run rolls right around, and it's exactly almost an hour later, okay? We do our second pass. All right, our second pass is .172, 60 foot 2.514, 330 foot 6.681, 1/8 mile is 10.592, 59.84 miles per hour. Our 1,000 foot was 14.332. ET was 17.764. At 64.07 miles an hour. Hey, we went a little bit faster. We went 0.2 faster. That's and you know the crazy thing is I lowered the power on the controller. We went from 250 to 225. All right, and I could feel when we took off, I could feel that like the bike would kind of like hit a wall. All right, it would be accelerating, and then you'd feel it kind of buck a little bit. And then it would kind of go slow and then like speed up again. Okay, so I think what that tells me is that like the battery is kind of you can't keep up with the controller, all right? It's not giving the controller the power that we're asking it for, all right? So once again, I feel like we're limited by what the battery can do. Okay, so the bottleneck in the bike now is the battery, and that's like the most expensive part. Okay. Yeah, but so we went 0.2 faster with less power. That's freaking crazy, right? But our reaction time was .172, a little bit slower than last time. Okay, so here's the third pass. Comes around another hour. Okay, a little less than an hour. I get to go by myself. All right, and I .143, a little bit better than last time, but not as good as the first time. All right, 60 foot is 2.515, 330 foot is 6.571, 1/8 mile is 10.365 at 61.99 miles an hour, and 1,000 foot is 13.965. Our ET was 17.25. 17.25. at 66.63 miles an hour. It's still a pretty fast Sauron. 17 for a Sauron is pretty fast, guys. All I can say is the wind died down. That's what happened, all right? So the wind had died down just a little bit, maybe like probably half as much speed as it was before. So we've progressively been getting faster, all right? So I'm thinking maybe the wind is like starting to die down. The wind affects this bike a lot, okay? All right, so we go to race, all right? It's the first race, the first elimination race. And so for the first run we got 17.9, second run 17.7, and the third run we got 17.2. All right, we're kind of all over the 17s. All right, so we're definitely picking something in the 17s. Okay. HadesOmega chose 17.1. All right, that was our dial-in, 17.1. All right, just in case we went fast. All right, so here's what we got. .181 reaction time. Pretty bad. That's like that's worse than all the ones that we've been doing. 60 foot 2.512, 330 foot 6.678, 1/8 mile 10.645 at 58.41 miles an hour. 1,000 foot is 14.511. Our ET was 18.058. Pretty bad. At 61.82 miles an hour. And we won, alright? So, what happened is the other guy broke out, alright? I was racing, okay, yeah. So I was racing Mr. Bennett on his Harley Davidson, okay? So, I won that one because he broke out, alright? He dialed in a 13.5 and he ran a 12.885, alright? So he was almost 7 tenths faster than his dial-in time, so pretty bad. He broke out really bad. So I, however, was almost a full second off my dial, but I didn't break out, so that's how I won. Okay? And my reaction time was better than his. I had a .181 and he had a .303, right? So we beat him pretty bad. So we say, all right, well, I mean, he broke out, so you immediately lose. Okay, but yeah, that .9 seconds difference between the reaction time and the actual run, the ET, not good. Okay, guys. So what happened with the first race was the wind started picking up a lot. It was a headwind and it was coming at us. All right, it slowed us down so much that we went to 18. Okay, and then so the thing is, the battery's getting pretty low on charge, man. I get the feeling that the smaller battery that I have is like it's going bad or something. I don't know, because it just seems like the state of charge just drops so fast. I remember during the Virginia City Grand Prix, that battery had like 50-something% at the end, while the big battery had 70% and the other big battery had 70% after 2 laps. So, but I mean, it does have 2 amp hours less, is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, we were about 70%. All right, we're like in the it's like 77%, something like that. So that could have contributed to why we went slower. Also, our voltage is going down. Okay. All right. So I made it to the second round. Woohoo! All right. So, and guess who we're racing? We're racing Doug Love again. All right. I lost to Doug last time. And, well, I lost to Doug again. Alright, so HadesOmega got eliminated in the second round. Here's what happens. Alright, I'm on the right. And so I'm worried about my dial. Like, oh man, I'll probably... The wind is still pretty nasty here. It's still pretty nasty. The wind did not let up the whole night, man. It was headwind the whole night. We didn't get a tailwind. We didn't get a crosswind. It was just a headwind the whole night, man. It was awful. Okay. This bike is just not good in the headwind, man. I did notice when we went back, when we were on the return trip to back, it was so quiet. You wouldn't hear any wind, and we can go so fast because you've got a tailwind pretty much, right? It's nuts, right? All right. So I dial in a 17.75, all right? Because I think, we should probably get closer to 18. I think we're gonna run slower, so. But I didn't want to go 18, just in case maybe we went fast. Right? Okay, so I dial in 17.75. I run a reaction time of .210. Oh, the worst one. I could remember. I twisted the throttle. I just had to. I told myself in my head, that was kind of slow, buddy. Okay. 60 foot is 2.524. 330 foot 6.784. 1/8 mile is 10.848. At 57.23 miles an hour. 1,000 foot was 14.827. And we ran an 18.479, all right? We went almost half a second slower than the last pass. That's freaking nuts, right? That's how bad the wind was, all right? That's how bad the wind was, and maybe the state of charge, like I said, was affecting it. But, yeah, and then we ran a 60.66 miles an hour. All right, so we were off our dial. Like, Doug just blew past me. He blew past me, and then he braked really hard. That's what I'm going to say. Anyway, yeah, so I ran an 18.474 and we dialed in a 17.75. That gives us 3/4, yeah, close to 3/4 of a second off our dial. And if you guys don't know, if you're racing Doug, man, and he's on his game, you have to be on your game too. Okay, so you cannot mess up with Doug, man. Unless he breaks out or something, all right? So yeah, so Doug dialed in at 13.44. All right, he had a reaction time of .063. All right, he treated us bad. All right, he literally was three times as fast reacting than we were. Okay, more than 3 times. All right, because .63. Wait. Maybe I got this wrong. Yeah, no, almost 3. Yeah, almost 3 times. All right, and then so he ran a 13.753. All right, so he was off his dial. Was it almost 2 tenths? He's almost 2 tenths off, and we're like .75. All right, we're like 7 tenths off, or almost 8 tenths off. So he destroyed us, man. Yeah, and he treated us also. So there is no way we would have beat Doug. Okay, Doug was on his game. All right, so Doug won by 0.5638 seconds. All right, that's how far ahead of me I was. Okay, and so that was it. All right, I believe in the next round. Oh, so the next round is a semi-final round, and it was Sean. It was Sean and Joe. All right, Sean was riding a Kawasaki Concourse, big 1400cc sport touring bike. All right, and then Joe was riding his Hayabusa. Okay, and Sean took out Joe. All right, and that's what happened in the semi, and then and then Doug got a bye run. All right, Doug went by himself. All right, so he was the odd man out, and then it was Sean versus Doug, and then Sean wins it in a double breakout. All right, so there's a double breakout, but Sean wins it. All right, it was a really close race. They showed me the slip at their end, and Sean won by .0009. Yeah, .009 seconds. All right, 9 thousandths of a second or something like that. Okay, it was nuts. It was a really, really close race. All right, and they both broke out. Is the crazy thing. Okay, so yeah, so Sean wins again. Good job, Sean. All right, he got the points and all that. Again, okay. He won last week. Yeah, he won the last race, and then he won this week's race. All right, on that Kawasaki Concourse. It's pretty nuts. Okay, so yeah, so this is the kind of improves, or how did the bike do? All right, how did we do? All right. So I'm gonna go over how the bike did. The bike did great. All right. It wasn't. It didn't cut out once. All right. It worked beautifully. All right. The new software. All right. Worked great. That's what I'm gonna say. No cutouts at all. I did notice that when it gets cold, I turn the bike on. It starts at like 100% state of charge, and it starts counting down until it gets to where it's supposed to be. So like where it's 70 where it was. All right. So tonight we used the small battery. This guy. All right, this is the battery we used tonight, guys, and it did okay. So one thing I did notice about this battery is that I did a track day at Horse Thief Mile, all right, at Willow Springs. To be able to finish a whole track session, I had to do a battery swap, all right. I found out I can only do 7 laps on Horse Thief Mile and the battery overheats, all right. So what we did is we rode 7 laps, and then we pit in, and then I swapped the battery packs out, all right. I went from the big one to the small one, all right, and then I hopped out on the track, and I immediately noticed, hey, my bike feels slower with the smaller battery pack. So for whatever reason, it feels slower with this battery pack. It may be the BMS, you know, this can't discharge as fast as that one, all right. I feel that this battery is more finicky though. This one has higher power output or higher discharge, but it seems more finicky, all right. Last time we overheated it, all right. We overheated it because I was running like some crazy like 300 amps or something. 300 amps, 250 amps, all right. We ran so for the first pass we ran 250 amps, and then we ran 225 the rest of the time, all right. So we did 5 passes. 4 of them were 225 and 1 was 250, okay. And the funny thing is that 250 was like one of the slower ones. Okay, yeah, anyway, the bike ran pretty fantastic, all right. It ran nice. The primary drive was nice and smooth and quiet. Throttle, it never cut out, all right? Never cut out. The bike ran great. When I twist the throttle, the bike goes, all right? Only thing is I forgot to lower the deadband, all right? So basically, normally I run 2%, but for drag racing, I'd like to run 1%, like pretty much no deadband. Pretty much once you twist the throttle, the bike will move right away, okay? Before I had the KO controller, I would take up the slack on the deadband, and I would wait till the bike feels like it's moving, and then I would hold the brake and then wait and pull the throttle until the bike starts moving, and then when the light turns yellow, I let go of the brake and I twist it the rest of the way. Right? With this, I just hold it shut. All right, I just make sure the throttle's shut, and then when I see the light turn yellow, we twist the throttle and we go. All right, it was very easy. All right. Unfortunately, we couldn't get some really consistent times tonight. It was really bad. We were like all over the place. 17.2, 17.7, 17.8, 17.9, 18. We were all over 17 and 18 is what I'm saying. All right, not good. And we were pretty slow tonight. All right, the wind was awful, dude. It was awful. Everyone was running pretty slow tonight. Okay. I would say on a good day, this bike can probably do 16s, all right? And we ran 15 last time, so if we have a really good day, we can run 15s, okay? So this is like a 15, 16, 17 second bike, all right? We're kind of in that area. We're kind of at the, I hate to say it, we're kind of at the mercy of Mother Nature, okay? No wind, man, we can go so fast. So if I get a chance to go to a drag strip where there's like no wind, like Reading, I'll see if I can do a fast pass, man. But yeah, so that's kind of where it stands. We're in the 15s. How can I make the bike faster? Yeah, I would probably. The battery is the biggest bottleneck right now. Okay, I feel that like we're not even pushing that controller close to what it can do. That's what I say. Right, the bike feels plenty fast. Don't get me wrong, man. It is fast. So the way the throttle tuning works on this is like when you twist the throttle, it takes off pretty slow, and then it picks up, and it picks up hard. Like once the phase amps kicks in, you can feel the front want to lift a little bit. All right, but the good thing is, for drag racing, I can be very aggressive with the throttle. I just go, and I don't have to worry about it looping or anything. It's kind of a gentle, soft takeoff, and then boom, it just takes off really hard, right? And dude, the power was impressive. So that's all I can say, man. It's a good power, all right. But maybe it would be nice if it ramped up a little quicker. I don't know how to make it do that. So maybe we play around with that. What could we do to improve? Try to try to find a yeah, just try to set it to a DC current that makes it happy. Okay, so I did notice that like it feels like something is kind of holding the bike back, and I think it's the battery. Okay, you're pushing more power than the battery is happy pushing. All right, that's what I want to say. So we got to find that happy, that happy setting, and I think it's around 220. I think 220 is fine. 180, anywhere around 180, 200, it seems okay. If you want to really play it safe, you can do like 150, 160. All right. Yeah, but you're demanding a lot out of this battery pack. All right, guys. This is a 30 amp hour pack, so and we're discharging it at like what? Like let's say like 200 amps and 30. So you're asking for like a 6 or like 7C discharge, guys. That's asking a lot, man. I'll put the math down below. I don't feel like doing math right now. I'm freaking tired, man. Okay, so yeah. I mean, I think the next time we come back, we'll just we'll use the bigger battery. I feel like we get more power out of the bigger battery, and then we'll just run 220. All right, unless there's a tailwind and we want to try to do a fast pass, then yeah, I would do like a 250. All right, but the battery kind of doesn't like it. It heats up, and it eats up a lot of batteries. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's just chomping at the batteries really bad. This controller. But we're going pretty fast. What is our top speed of the night? Yeah, let's check that out. All right, our tops. I think it was a 17.2. I think it was like the fastest speed, 66 miles an hour. All right, I think that was the second. Yeah, it was the third one. I think in the third run we did 17.25 and 66.63 miles an hour. All right, that's pretty fast. All right, we're getting close to the 70s. I looked at the speedometer on the way back, and I brapped it really hard when we were going down the hill, and we had a tailwind going, and we pretty easily hit 70 miles an hour. Okay, that's 70 indicated though. I don't think it's 70. It's probably more like 67 or 68 miles an hour. Okay, but yeah, it'll get up there. It'll get up to 70. I think if you just need a battery that can, you either need a higher voltage battery or one that can handle more continuous discharge. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think we'll stay with that settings. Maybe we'll just do 220 instead of 225. If we want to go really fast, 250, and then if you're trying to set some kind of record, put it at 250. Okay, and then the rest of the time just put it like 220. Somewhere around, yeah, anywhere around like 225 to 200, I think will be okay. All right. HadesOmega is still trying to figure out the settings with this controller, right? You could legit mess up your batteries with this controller, is what I say, right? So you got to be real careful. But I think around 200 to 230, somewhere around there is okay, okay? But it's going to heat it up a lot, and it's going to eat up a lot of power doing that, okay? Yeah, I wish I could tell what the highest RPM we did and all that stuff, but the controller doesn't do that. Also, I did monitor my battery temps, and this battery didn't really get all that hot. I remember that one got really hot. That one got to like close to 50 C last time, and it was really cold last time. This time this battery didn't really get all that hot. I think the highest I saw it get was like 37 C. That's not that hot. I think when you get to about 50 C, then you want to start worrying about how hot the battery is getting. But the battery did not get hot at all, which is surprising. Maybe something about the software made it better, or maybe because this battery doesn't have as much discharge as the other one, it doesn't heat up as much. Okay, so this one is this battery just it's more reliable because it can't output that much power. That's what I'm say. Okay, so that was it. All right, guys, I made it to the second round. Not too bad, I guess. There weren't all that many riders this time around. I think there must have been like 8 of us or something. So it was a good little crowd, and I had fun. Okay, I think that's all that matters. One of these days we're going to be Doug, okay? But that day wasn't today, unfortunately. if I had to rate my performance, man, I don't think we didn't do very good, man. I would say C. But the bike did good, all right? The bike didn't cut out or didn't, you know, I was pretty happy with the way the bike was running, all right? However, you know, HadesOmega, you got to work on that reaction time. You got to get it under .1, all right? Shoot for under .1. But we were pretty consistent with our reaction times. We're anywhere from .1 to .2, okay? So it's okay. It's okay, but you need to do better because when you're racing somebody like Doug, you got to do better. That's what I say, all right? Yeah, and then just our times were just kind of all over the place. So we just got to make it more consistent. But I just think the weather just made it very difficult today, all right? The wind was killer, man, I'm telling you. Okay, thanks for watching. That is the after action review for Wednesday Night Drags, May 17, 2023. Thanks for watching.